The tree, a very old, almost immemorial elm, overhung the far left-hand corner of the square, and in Mr. West's opinion, it was a menace. The feelings of the other members of the square circle were divided. The masculine, short-skirted Miss Boone upheld that, as it had stood for 100 years, there was no reason why it shouldn't stand for another 200, an argument endorsed by Mr. Fitzgerald, the bank manager, and his pretty, though rather empty-headed young wife. The Reverend Matthews and his sister, who could see the elm from their drawing-room, were perfectly certain that its roots were sound, and that it would be a crime to cut it down. Dr. Pratt, on the other hand, sided with Mr. West, because there was nothing he liked better than an argument with Miss Boone, while the caution and natural timidity of the Misses Nancy and Emmeline Watt placed them, as a matter of course, in the menace camp. For the rest, Captain Cotton didn't care a damn. Mr. Edward Buller was more interested in the stock market and his own ailments. Miss Barnet was away, and Sir Wilfrid and Lady Eleanor Whitcomb of the White House retained their usual aloof and non-committal attitude to the brawls of the hoi polloi. "Look here, West," said Dr. Pratt, one early spring morning. "It's no use letting this absurd argument drift on like this. You ought to act. See the borough surveyor. I think it's in his domain. Get him on your side and have the tree cut down." "But what about Matthews? He's dead against—" "Oh, damn Matthews! He doesn't want it cut down for aesthetic and sentimental reasons. But public safety is of far more importance than sentiment." You know, Pratt," said West apologetically, "I hate upsetting people. It seems a pity that this matter couldn't be settled amicably." The doctor snorted. "Well, if you won't see the authorities, I'll do it myself. It's your place to. You started the schmozzle. Point is, unless that elm comes down, somebody's going to be killed in the long run. It's our duty to act." "Oh, very well," said West wearily. "I'll mention the matter in the right direction, and see what can be done about it. I'm sick of the whole business." "Good," concluded Pratt emphatically. "You're doing the sensible thing." "Am I?" wondered West. "It's all very well for you. You're making me shoulder the responsibility. And if there's a row, I shall be the one to suffer." He didn't want any more worries. He had quite enough to deal with as it was. Financial worries, domestic worries, worries about the future. Ever since he had come such a cropper over those cement shares, selling when he ought to have held for a substantial rise, nothing had gone right with his finances. Buller had been handsomely apologetic over the misinformation which he had given him over those shares. Of course, the man, although a stockbroker, could not always be expected to gauge the market to a T. The stock market was a tricky business at the best of times, and of late political unrest had undermined what little stability existed in the money world. But it had placed him in an awkward fix. If things didn't suddenly take a turn for the better, and his investments show an increased profit, well, goodbye to his retirement. He'd have to look around for a job, and go into harness again. Isabel wouldn't like it. She was difficult enough now, but if money got tight, heaven alone knew what might happen. The old threat of a separation might be translated from a threat into an act. Things between them had become so strained since Christmas that it only needed a spark to send their domestic life sky high. If only he could adopt a nice, callous attitude toward his wife, the sort of attitude she seemed to hold for him, then the dread of this threatened split would no longer worry him. As it was, he often lay awake at night trying to straighten things out. Trouble was that the others in the square knew all about it now. He'd been quick to realize this fact from their politely veiled innuendos and unspoken sympathy. And it was all Isabel's fault. She was brazen, thoughtless in the calm manner in which she accepted Captain Cotton's odious advances. Hadn't he seen them sharing a tea-table on the promenade?